We've always run the DAF. We changed over years ago. If you look over there, there's the cargo cab, which was the original truck. And they would get really difficult to get the parts for, and it got written off at Thruxton. So we decided to recab it and badge it as a DAF. And we just, you know, within that, we got a lot of help and interest from different parties involved around the DAF label, including yourselves and Greenhouse, Adams Morning, DAF UK, TRP. At one point there's, I can't remember their name now, so it's another company that used to help us out. And so it was a natural progression. However, we was going to run with the LF cab, and then when we bought all the tubing to go in it, and we couldn't find anybody in the UK that could bend the tube, so we sent it off to about 3 or 4 different companies, and they all come back flat. You know, so essentially we then had to go and buy the roll cage that fits the MAN race truck, and we got that from Tim Frost, who's Unit 8 Motorsport, and it was still too small to go in this cab, so we've had to extend the cage and the cross members up the top there to make it wider so it sprays out at the back. So then essentially we were making a decision that it was better to run with the modern version, and then quite kindly we had this cab donated to us, and it's come along from there. It's a big cab, it's wide, but it's got its own presence. You know, there isn't another one in the world, I don't think, apparently. So, you know, besides the fact it looks the nuts as well. So the step is massive. Full credit to the guys that are running in Division 1 anyway, because the lap times is what you're trying to achieve. You know, for us is we made a decision to run with the DAF, obviously, and there is an engine that's available to rent from Petrofitter, which is an MAN engine. And essentially, most of the truck parts that they're running are all interchangeable. So from our point of view, nothing's interchangeable. So we have to make everything from scratch. So we thought we was going in the right direction, but to achieve, I mean, I think Tom O'Rourke, 57.9 or something at Brands last year. It's one of the fastest times along with Ryan. So their lap times are 58. We sat in Neil's loan truck and got under the minute it's essentially a Division 2 truck. So we got to try and find quite maybe 3 seconds within the truck. But we didn't have a starting point in the first place. So getting to that point now is the goal would be to try and get under the minute. And that comes at a cost. You know, everything that you make, you've got to shave weight off. You know, and you've got to have the skill set to drive them as well. The setup and the balance is the main thing. Power, you know, they're achieving, I believe, close to 1250 horsepower with about 6,000 newton meters of torque. So we're looking to achieve something like that. The old truck was probably around about 1,000 horsepower and was running around on a 101. So if we could get, you know, potentially another couple of hundred horsepower out of this over the course of the winter, then we'll be well set to be somewhere mid-pack in Division 1. Yeah, well, I think that if we can get it to, well, I say if, but we will get it running. The whole goal is to actually go and put some fast laps in. So we're putting on some hospitality and some catering and make a sort of spectacle of it. But essentially, the truck's got to perform well. So there's nothing like a bit of pressure because it's our home circuit. So the last thing we want to do is have a repeat of the performances at the beginning of the year. And my vow is not to come back on a recovery truck. If I have to push it, I would rather do that than put it on a recovery truck. So that's not going to happen. But yes, home circuit, that's all I can say. So. What we're doing now is basically cleaning up this manifold area. This is the intake manifold, which has got a sweep and some tubes that Neil's making over there to meet up with the intercooler. So where we've moved the engine and changed it, initially the pipes were all different. So we've had to remake all the pipes, relocate the power steering, pressure regulators, compressor's got to go in there, so we've got some fuel lines and some pipe work that's got to be essentially made up to fit the new engine. So we're just cleaning up now, getting it ready to put the new pipes on, and hopefully it all marries up, he says. And there's a specialist engineer over there, Neil, who's doing a lot of TIG welding, which is a fine art in itself, and cross-reference to two different machines that no one can get on with the power weld, but he seems to be doing okay with that one. And we've set the engine down quite a lot lower, further back, dropped the gearbox down, so we've got the prop in a more sufficient line, but it's just all the auxiliaries really that need to be altered. So the position of the gearbox remained the same, so the crosses and all the fabrication that we've done initially have stayed the same, but there's quite a lot of pipe work and different bits that need to be adapted, and it's just done stage by stage. You find if you put the wrong piece on, you'll be going back and doing it again, because you've got to think about the bits that go in front of those bits, so that essentially nothing clashes when it goes in. So if you come round this side, and then this side of the engine is, so Nick from RSM has basically got an engineering company. I don't know the name of the company, and I should really mention it, but they've done a massive amount of engineering stuff, enabling us to pull the exhaust away from the side of the engine, because the turbo clashes with the side of the engine, so it wouldn't sit anywhere near the manifold, because the compressor side is basically touching the front of the manifold. So we have to extend the manifold away using these blocks, and we have to put a 60mm packer there, and that will sit the turbo off, and that enables us to get our pipes in. So we're just basically redoing it all again, because we've done it into refabricated engine mountings, and we'll be refabricating water hoses and stuff that will line up. There's a lot of work involved in it, but we're quite lucky because we've got good people around us. Neil Stewart does the electrics, and a fair bit of engineering skills evolved around the companies around us to make certain parts. If you have to fabricate them all yourself, that's where the time comes in. So we learned that basically getting them CNC drawn up and then just fabricated for us allows us to do it in this amount of time, basically. We only had probably, from when we got the engine, we've been 3 weeks basically to this point. So, and everything is the change, everything has to be adapted. So it's like restarting again, basically. So, and there's the header tank that looks like it's giving birth. This is the one that blew up, basically. It's got it pressurised, and it should only be about half the size of that. So, and then I'd just like to say thank you to the support from the team through the years. You know, you win together, you lose together, and not one of them have backed off of it. So the whole team, I can't really name them individually, so I'll just say thank you to everybody for your support, and let's make next year a better year.